Welcome to This Explainer. Look, there is a ton of noise and, frankly, a lot of panic out there right now about artificial intelligence. But today, we're cutting straight through all of that. We're going to map out the exact timeline of AI automation and, more importantly, show you exactly how to survive and thrive. We're grounding this whole discussion in hard data, actual studies, and expert analysis. No hype, just a clear, unfiltered picture of what's really coming. To really wrap our heads around the scale of this, we've got to look back for just a second. Picture the Goldman Sachs trading floor in New York back in the year 2000. They had 600 traders on that floor. Fast forward to today, there are two. Two. It's a terrifyingly clear picture of how algorithms can just totally hollow out even the most lucrative knowledge work. I mean, 600 highly paid humans replaced by code in one single office. And experts, they're warning us that this was literally just the prologue. The alarm bells are ringing, and experts are saying the entry-level white-collar pipeline is closing up way faster than anyone predicted. There's a quote that really hits the nail on the head. If your job is as routine as it comes, your job is gone in the next couple years. Seriously, if your daily grind involves taking in information, formatting it, and passing it down the line, we're talking data entry, basic QA, standard customer service, this automation wave isn't just on its way. It is already here.
All right, let's get right into section 1. Jobs on the brink. What AI will replace.
Microsoft recently dug into 200,000 anonymous Copilot conversations. Why? To figure out an AI applicability score. Basically, in plain English, they wanted to see what the AI can already pull off completely on its own, from start to finish, without a human lifting a single finger. This is huge because they mapped out actual user satisfaction to see if the AI could genuinely complete the work end to end. And from this massive pile of data, they pinpointed 40 distinct jobs that are highly susceptible to being fully automated really soon. Now, there's a crazy irony here when you look at the breakdown. The cushy, screen-bound roles, they are highly vulnerable. Meanwhile, the physically demanding tasks are basically untouchable. Translators and junior coders are sitting in the high-risk digital bucket, while phlebotomists and plumbers are totally secure in the low-risk physical zone. Think about it. AI can write your Python script in seconds, but there is absolutely no way it can fix a leaky sink. We're looking at a total inversion of job security. So let's track this creeping tide of automation year by year. You'll see a super rapid progression, jumping from entry-level admin stuff right up to the high-end executive suites. Between 2024 and 2026, the classic stepping stones to the middle class, like customer service and junior coding, get heavily automated. But then, brace yourself, because from 2027 to 2030, it creeps right up the ladder to mid-tier accountants and mid-traders. And if we look a bit further out to 2040, even highly specialized brain-heavy roles like diagnostic surgeons and senior lawyers are going to face profound disruption. All of this builds up to a frankly staggering prediction from Oxford. They're saying a massive 47% of current U.S. employment is at high risk of being automated by 2040. We are talking about tens of millions of roles, either completely transforming or just vanishing altogether. So, with half the board wiped out, what exactly is safe?
That brings us to section 2, the safest careers left, the untouchable roles.
It turns out, the jobs that actually keep our society from falling apart, often the overlooked, physical, and deeply empathetic labor like nursing, hazardous waste removal, and highway maintenance, these are emerging as the absolute safest careers on the planet. Why? Because they require complex motor skills, totally unpredictable physical environments, and genuine human empathy. You literally cannot send an API request to clean up a chemical spill on the highway or to hold the hand of a frightened patient. It just doesn't work that way. One expert summed it up perfectly. They said, "I wouldn't trust a bot to give me a haircut." And man, that just brilliantly captures the whole concept of human trust. Even if some sci-fi humanoid robot theoretically had the mechanical dexterity to do it, our human psychology fundamentally demands a real, breathing person for intimate, highly personal, physical tasks. The big takeaway here is that we're officially witnessing the end of traditional knowledge work. Just memorizing a digital skill, that is no longer your safety net. For the last 20 years, we've all been sold this idea that sitting at a desk, typing on a computer, and moving digital info around was the absolute pinnacle of a successful career. But when an AI has infinite, instant recall, trying to compete purely on memory and typing speed is an absolute losing battle. What's happening is we're moving back to a paradigm driven by the true laws of supply and demand. And honestly, it's a pretty beautiful societal reset. It's bringing back the dignity of labor, valuing the manual, unpredictable work that actually keeps our world spinning. Since the digital supply is about to completely outpace demand, the economics are going to wildly shift to favor the folks doing vital, physical tasks. They're finally going to command the respect and the paychecks they truly deserve. Okay, so how do we handle this? Let's jump into Section 3, the Survival Guide, How to Adapt and Thrive. Listen, if you want to stay in the digital or cognitive space, your game plan has to change right now. The old paradigm was all about hoarding input-driven skills. Your new survival strategy absolutely has to be outcome-driven. You've got to focus purely on delivering a final result, totally regardless of the tools you use to get there. In the past, you'd ask, hey, should I learn Python? Or should I master this one specific piece of software? Today, the only question that actually matters is, can I deliver the final product? The AI handles the input, you take ownership of the ultimate outcome. So, ask yourself right now, which of these 3 buckets do you fall into? Because you've got to be in one of them. You either need to be the creative director, the one actually telling the bots what to build, or you're the human touch professional, like nurses, teachers, therapists, handling the emotional and physical reality. Or, third, you're the high judgment specialist, taking accountability for massive, complex decisions that businesses are never going to let an algorithm make on its own. As AI swallows up the transactional, repetitive pieces of our jobs, we're all going to be forced to think like entrepreneurs. You'll be managing AI resources and figuring out what problems the market actually needs solved right now. Think about it. Back in the day, if you were a blacksmith, you managed your tools to forge a specific outcome. Well, AI is just the newest, most wildly powerful tool we've ever seen. You have to be the one who figures out how to package its output into something people will actually buy. And that brings us to the ultimate skill, synthesis. This is the true superpower of the 21st century executive. Synthesis means taking a massive, messy problem, breaking it down, farming out the heavy lifting to your AI agents, stepping in to put out fires, and polishing the final product yourself. The top 1% of workers tomorrow, they aren't going to be typists or coders. They are going to be absolute masters of synthesis, guiding the overarching vision while the bots do the grunt work. Just to show you how real this is, a 23-year-old prodigy named Leopold Aschenbrenner recently raised $1.5 billion on one simple, massive thesis: that AI is the biggest economic shift since the Industrial Revolution. Billions of dollars are betting that AI isn't just some cool software update. It's an entirely new era of human labor. The smartest money in the entire world is aggressively funding the companies building these automated agents as we speak. So the question isn't really whether AI is coming for your livelihood. It's how soon. So I want to leave you with this one thought. What year is your job? Are your daily tasks stuck in 2025, right in the crosshairs? Or are you actively building the synthesis skills you're going to need for 2040? The timeline is moving incredibly fast, and your window to become outcome-driven, it starts today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Start synthesizing, and we'll see you in the next one.